Indian mythology, Hindu mythology, and Rajasthani architecture. Durga's devotee.
So many Indian celebrities, people giving you shout outs. Raftar on a podcast, Sick Warrior, Calm, everyone's playing your game.
Top Guns, you have to be better than them. महीने का 20,000 है, जिसमें से 12,500 13,000 चले रेंट को 6-7,000 में महीने का गुजारा करना है.
Like Avichal Singh, meet Avichal Singh, and he's like, oh, you are the Avichal Singh I'm getting messages for Insta. It was crazy. Welcome to Baba's Balcony. I'm your dost and host, Sayan, aka Baba. Welcome to another episode. Joining me today are Avichal Singh and Paras Chaudhary. Avichal is a co-founder of Nodding Heads game. You might be knowing, and most of you don't. They worked on Raji, which is a globally acclaimed indie game that came out of India. And congratulations to you on the game. And welcome, Paras. He's the lead programmer in the company. Congratulations once again. You're on Netflix, you're on Switch, you're on PS5.
On major platforms. Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Bro, you're always welcome here.
Yeah.
Starting off, Baba, I know this journey, I've seen you for past 6 years. Both of you all. And actually more than 6 years.
8, maybe
10 years. 10 years or more.
The NPM.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So bro, how did you all get into the video gaming space? Like, how did playing video games got you here? What was the first steps, the baby step that got you into the gaming scene?
Playing video games, definitely. The first experience I can recall when I was a kid was playing Dave in the computer lab. I think most of the people in our generation, Prince of Persia or Dave or Mario. And I think I fell in I was not good at studies. So, I was always studies are too much for me, especially the word TCM. That's Paras is very good at studies, so he's a separate entity here.
I was good at studies, but I didn't. People are going to hate me for it, but I didn't have to make an effort.
So that's us. He was.
So that's why I could study as well as do all the things that I think everybody who has been inclined towards video games in India, they all had a very similar start. कि एक पहले NES का वो मिला, क्लोन मिला, मारियो खेला, कॉन्ट्रा खेला, 9999 खेला, उसके बाद करते करते PC गेम्स आए, वुल्फ खेला, डेव खेला और क्या क्या था. उसके बाद जब ये देसी वाले कैफे शुरू हुए, PS2 वाले, स्मैकडाउन 4 खेलते खेलते करते करते फिर एक तरह से एक अफिनिटी वहीं से आई.
ब्रो वही हम कैसे पैसे कलेक्ट करते थे. 10 रुपए कलेक्ट हुए, 10 सिक्के मिलेंगे खेलने के लिए. मुस्तफा. The real name of that game, which I always thought was Mustafa, was not even Mustafa. I got to know recently it was like dragons and something, dinosaurs and something. हम उसको मुस्तफा बोलते थे bro बचपन से, because the character was Mustafa in the game. So bro, it's crazy that you all played, we all did the same thing, right? Going to cafes.
Video games, definitely. We are here because of the same reason.
True.
Yeah, we all probably just pick we have a game artist, game designer, game programmer, different based on other interests. True. And what we figured was natural into us. So yeah, I think gaming cafes and figuring out what is game design or game art or what is game education back in 2009. 2009.
For me, it was 2008.
You were an
iCAD, yeah. So, for me, looking into the video game scene, I used to look at EA Sports and I used to play a lot of FIFA. I'm like, then EA Sports पे काम करना है. But कभी पता ही नहीं था क्या होता है, what is the education scene, कैसे घुसता है उसमें. And what everyone was offering you was an animation course.
वही पूरा एनिमेशन कीवर्ड ही था मेरे पास भी. वो लेके मैं एक कैफे गया था जो घर के पास था. मैं मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा था इसको मैं गूगल पर डालता हूँ And क्या है क्या पहले मेरे दिमाग में वही था एरिया एनिमेशन मैक कि मैं इसमें चला जाऊँगा because everything else for me was alien. Yeah, I cannot spend 4 years into this. So animation search karte I came to the term game design. The moment I saw that term, something clicked, game design, like with video games, and there's a college in Pune. Okay, so things started going forward. I took it to my family. Most people, everyone was against it, but everyone also knew that this is probably the only thing he can do.
यही करने वाला है शायद और कुछ नहीं कर सकता है
शायद हो भी ना and मुझे भी शायद वही लगता था उस time. But I was glad कि I had that consciousness कि I found it myself, figured it out, came to Pune, and Lucknow से Pune in a train and waiting for that whole interview process, and I was so confident कि आराम से हो जाएगा and वही हुआ. And then like we all met third year and we have so many memories back from that. And abhi recently someone I was talking to, was saying how that importance of that quality plus that college where we all met is just missing in India.
That's
the secret circle. It's literally, it's not about what you learned, it's not about all of that. There is our own bunch of things we learned ourselves.
Yeah.
And then more important than that is the people we met. And then I was telling them, Nodding Heads Games is made, majority of us can circle back to 2014, 2012, 2013, all from that one spot.
2009,
Yeah, and talking about the college, the courses, it was not more about what we learned over there, but who we met, as you mentioned, the circle. Because in the creative industry, skills can always be acquired. I mean, if you have the brains for it, if you have the drive for it, rather. But the people that you meet, and when you get to know that, okay, this is the person whom I can work with, that carries a really long way. Because in the creative field, you get to know कि किसके साथ बनेगी, किसके साथ नहीं बनेगी. जिंदगी में हम लोग बोलते हैं, जैसे जिंदगी में बोलते हैं, किसी के साथ बनती है, नहीं बनती. If you're in a corporate job, you have to work. You have to, who your colleagues are, they are your colleagues. But say if you're starting something of your own, or if you're working in the creative field, you have the liberty to choose who you work with. I mean, if you want to take something forward of your own.
Completely, bro. And this is like trial and error. You know people, then you can work with them. But once you don't know them properly, he's gonna slack or he's not gonna work. नहीं हो पाएगा काम.
And अपने college में trial and error was through the student projects that we did. मतलब मतलब मैंने ठान ली थी कि मैं हर एक के साथ काम करूँगा वहाँ पे, जितने भी हमारे बैचमेट्स थे, whoever was in programming and animation or design or art, I made sure that at least I work with them for, even if it's like a day-long project, I work with them and I see at least where I stand and what kind of people I can bond with and what kind of people I can see myself working with. And that's what happened. I mean, right now, also the people that I'm working with, those are the people that I met probably like 8-9 years ago. And I'm still working with them, and they're still one of my closest friends.
Can't agree less, bro. It's so funny that we started our journeys together, traveled together in Nainital, did some crazy stuff there, came back, and our journey started, and we are still here together. That's the craziest thing. We never thought कि ये हो रहा है, पुणे में रहेंगे हम, ये कर रहे होंगे. Never thought
there's be a podcast and Sahil and all of us, like we are here. Like that, not in my wildest.
Even bro, I thought 5 years back I'll start this, but things just didn't work out at that time. And I was like, bro, I'm getting bald out, bro. I can always open a video company being bald, but I can't do a podcast being bald right now, man. There's the time. So bro, we worked together, right? We studied together, we stayed around in Amanora, did crazy things. And we were working in DSK at that time. It was very weird how companies got shut down, we were jobless, we didn't know abhi kya hoga, what's the next step. Starting Nodding Heads game and Paras being involved, working with me on a couple of projects for Green Eyes Games. How did you think of opening a company and what was the thought process? Like, how did it just happen?
So, bro, it goes back to actually the feeling I got after my final year project in college, that I was actually able to figure, this is what I'm good at. First year, second year, third year. It's all knowing yourself, what you like, what you don't like. But I think final year is where we got pushed to know actually, are you good at it or not? So I think I figured that. And you know what happened, it didn't go through. That project died eventually. But that left me with that desire or like that feeling that no, we have to get something. Or I personally at least have to make something. And 2014 is also when I was in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, where I was in front of this Patfoke Haveli, and I was just astonished with the beautiful architecture. And मेरे अंदर से आवाज़ आई कि this has to be in a video game. I know I'm looking at art and I'm thinking art, but you know, art is not my forte. But I knew someone else. I mean, I knew Shruti, and I was on the same level with Shruti when it came to indie games, which was a new phenomena back then. Like 2012 is when the indie game industry, you know, erupted like crazy. So we both were already Bastion fans. We were all Supergiant fans. I think Paras, and I knew like people really like this. Personally, the fact that 7 people made Bastion and it did so well.
Blow your mind.
And Amit Rao is like one of them, and he's the Indian origin. So that really was inspiring. Plus, it left us with this thing. So where's the game from India? Yeah. So when will we make it?
True, we always love that.
We just wanna keep waiting for someone to do it. Do we have it in us that we can do it? So Shruti, Ian, Paras, we were all on that same line of thought. We had not thought of making this studio or anything like that back then. We were all on our pathways. I was in Zynga, he was at Green Ice, Shruti was at EA, Ian was still a lecturer at the college.
So by the way, Ian and Shruti are also co-founders of Nodding at Games. Shout out to both of you all.
Yeah. Both are art directors, and all 3 of us, along with Paras, were the original members back in 2016. The first conversation on message was probably 2015 late, something like that.
I remember it was, sorry to interrupt, but I clearly remember it was in Shishas and the IGTC 2015. It was in Weston, and these guys were there like talking about stuff. I did not join in that conversation at that time. मैं अपनी हाई में था वहाँ पे वो जो BYOG जो होता है वहाँ पे the game jam. I had secured second spot with Pratik Sharma. So मैं उसके हाई में.
What is a BYOG?
BYOG is a game jam that's organized by I mean it's organized at every IGDC, Indian Game Developer Conference. And it's a really lovely platform to just get together for 48 or 72 hours and come up with a game. And yeah, it's judged by like world-renowned jury, and it's really awesome. Yeah.
And I have a very this story which is very memorable for all of this particular event. Same event. I mean, I was there. I played the game, and I was really happy they won. There's this figurehead of a big corporate, which I will not name, and they showed up.
Censor this shit, bro. Now
They showed up, and they literally said, "Why are you making this game for PC? Make it for mobile. Nobody plays games on PC."
He said that. It's an Indian guy.
They said that.
Indian corporate head.
Yeah, they came to our booth where we were showcasing our BYOG game, and it was on PC. They straight away said to our face that why are you making a game for PC? PC industry is dead. People are only going to be playing games on mobile. PC gaming is going to fade out. Why are you doing this to yourself?
फौजी खेलो तुम जाके straight up फौजी खेलो अक्षय कुमार नाच गया तुम्हारे लिए और तुम फौजी खेलो.
So I will say, this last bit. Little they know in Shishas, and Jale was also one in this meeting. Jale, Ian, Shruti, me. We met for extremely high level concept. The concept was literally Indian mythology, Hindu mythology, and Rajasthani architecture. There is a Durga's devotee. We don't know her name. Our name later came from Ian, and Ian was really smart about the name because Raji is very catchy. It's 4 letters, and everyone gets it. We've never, so that came later. So we were meeting there. We were still figuring out. Did we start straight up? No. It took us 1 year from there.
That's when my question is coming. It's like, what is the birth of Raji? How did the birth of Raji come to mind? Like, you had a personal project that you liked and you had an idea. But how did the birth of Raji take place?
So, birth of Raji is that mutual feeling amongst the, like, you can say the original members, or like when the company was not even officially founded, which is 2017 Jan 10. So we're talking 2015 late, all of 2016. Me and Shruti, Paras Chaudhary, Linas, we have that feeling inside us. India can also do it. We can also make it. We're not just an outsourcing hub. We can make world-class quality games.
That you have proved.
In India on the video game map. And that's literally what gave the birth to everything Raji.
True. Like, we can talk about Raji, like most of our people watching here in India. Please go check out Raji. It's available on most of the platforms. And the biggest thing is, I don't know about people outside, but I've seen so many Indian celebrities, people giving you all shout outs. I remember Aftar on a podcast, like live, talking about y'all playing that game. Sick Warrior, Calm, everyone's playing your game. Everyone's played it. My wife's played it on 2 platforms. It's crazy because I've finished it, and there was a funny story. ये पहली बार मैंने किसी को देखा है that my wife was playing the game and she got stuck. And the simplest shit she could do was go on YouTube and find a way to, walk through देख के खत्म कर ले. She ends up calling him, hey, Avichal, मैं ये पार कैसे करूँ? I'm stuck here, what do I do? I'm like, bro, ऐसा CEO को phone करके बोल रही है क्या करो? That's the best thing as friends,
We don't do CEOs, but unofficially, Haley is our CEO.
That's crazy. I love the fact that Haley is the CEO.
Since we're a very small team, so just like, most small startups or indie teams, hierarchy, we don't try to impose all of those things. Those things, Signa, EA, we left it behind. We're happy.
Won't say names, but tell people who Haley is.
Oh, Haley. Haley is the OG, right? She's the OG.
she at that point of time, she was the first pup to be rescued by Ian and Shruti way back in, I think, 2014. Yeah, 2014 end. And since then, the Doggo family of Nodding Heads has just expanded.
Yeah, and add this for everyone watching this podcast or listening, that Ian Shruti have rescued probably more than 24 dogs. 16 of them are with them, and others, couple of them are with Paras, one of them is with me. So why Haley is important to this conversation is because she's one of the first ones, and she's still with us.
Don't buy dogs, please adopt.
Yes, please adopt, because they need you, and
We'll be talking more about the Doggo family and the extended family we have with dogs, and that's our life, right? That's most of our time and that's most of our life. Bro, I want to talk about the trials and tribulations you all faced while making Raji, because I personally know, and people would want to know that what goes behind making a game. Like people think, अरे game बनाना है, 6 लोग को पकड़ो game बन जाएगा. समझ रहे हो? स्टूडियो में तो चाहिए जगह, चाहिए PC चाहिए, माया है, अनरियल है या यूनिटी है, बन जाएगा गेम. प्रोग्रामर को ले आओ, डिजाइनर को ले आओ, 2 आर्टिस्ट है, एनिमेटर को ले आओ, हो गया ब्रो. म्यूजिक तो डाल देंगे छाप के इंटरनेट से. But they don't know what goes in the back, how things work. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So the first biggest challenge is this perception, because people think, oh, it's halwa, है ना? तो they think कोई भी कर लेगा, क्या है आइडिया, मेरे पास आइडिया, मेरा आइडिया ले लो, इतना ज़्यादा होता है ना. Finally comes to the real thing is कि in India in 2017 nobody wanted to fund PC console, or nobody was actually even interested in that kind of a conversation. For it, funding, that's far. If I'm having a conversation with you in 2017, they won't believe you. Like,
Yeah.
you want to make for PC console? What are you saying?
मोबाइल में बना लेना चुपचाप यार.
Exactly. People told us that. We didn't give 2 shits.
तुम ये लोग हैं.
Naysayers, exactly, that same finger. So we were very focused on where is this industry heading. You have to be in the industry to know it. You have to be a consumer and a developer both. So we knew indie game market, it's just gone bigger and bigger. And literally territories like India, Brazil, and like Southeast Asia, you will see more and more games like Raji representing their culture and local lore. And this was exactly the same thought. Funding was one big challenge. People already had this. So another big challenge as an Indian game studio, we are just starting. We are a very young industry. We are even younger than the animation industry. We're just, I think we started. We could say with the work like it. I think that could be probably the official start. So, but you are competing with everyone else.
Of course, the top bosses, the top dogs, the top guns in the game.
Top guns, you have to be better than them.
Of course.
If you want to actually survive. And the third thing, they also have a perception of India and the development scene there.
And that's...
We reached out and, that whole thing led to Kickstarter, right? So Kickstarter, of course, we tried to raise $135,000. We, I think, reached somewhere $85,000, which... Someone just recently said that was absolutely crazy that we even reached.
That's a crazy number.
Look back at it. Zero marketing budget, just came out of crunch and launched a Kickstarter. These are mistakes also, but there's huge learnings which we got early on, especially in the marketing side of things. Like we literally say in the video game industry, making a game is hard. Selling a game is hard.
True, I can't agree less, bro. Like fucking like...
Yeah, so that's a big problem that we had, that hey, we're reaching out to all these publishers who've already done funding game, and we had crazy kick-ass proof that we can do this. A demo in 10 months, made by 7 people, which went on Kickstarter.
And learning from college, like there's no job experience in a 3D Unreal game. You're working on Zynga for their platform, their engines and their whatever.
So we all had respective experience and skills. But this kind of a thing, everyone's doing it for the first time.
No, taking from where what he was talking about, skills were not a big problem. The problem was coming together, working on the vision and getting people on, I mean, the things that we needed. First and foremost, we needed somebody from the financial background to believe in the vision that we had, which was to put India on the game dev map and back us. And that was one of the biggest challenges we had. It was not like we all always backed our own experience. And even if there was a lack of skill somewhere, we backed ourselves to acquire that skill. But getting a financial hand on board was one of the biggest challenges that we faced initially. And that kind of led down to a spiral where we know that we have to feed ourselves as well. And अब वो कैसे करेंगे? उसके बाद started the, we realized that we have to do that ourselves as well. So these guys, Shruti, I think she did made the biggest sacrifice. She had an apartment in Kolkata. She sold that apartment. That got us the money to carry forward. To survive. We all played our part there. Whatever was missing, we knew that we cannot stop here. I mean, if there's nobody out there backing us, then we have to back ourselves, whichever way possible.
It's crazy. That's crazy. She put her house on mortgage, in a way. She had to sell it. She sold it. I thought.
So after till Kickstarter was done, we were on bootstrap. Okay, so me, Shruti, and we put our money together, and there's a deadline. We don't have infinite money, and the deadlines crossed. Kickstarter didn't work out. Now what? That was the most stressful time of we faced. Apart from the release, I think. Release was still less stressful. This is like, you will strive to go up, but you've just fallen, and how do you get up? You don't know. But this, what Shruti did, helped us keep going for, a few more months. And, big shout out to Epic Games with their mega grant, Unreal grant scheme, which has helped numerous developers, including us. It came at, just the exact time we needed it, and it helped us go for a few more months, and then we finally got a publisher, which meant now we secured for 2 years. And the PC console, everything was then done in 2 years through the COVID and all of that. And then, we got on Nintendo Indie World, and full circle there, Supergiant inspired us. We didn't even know they are on this event because everything is so confidential. But we know we are there. Events coming to its end. Like they're now the biggest announcement supposed to be, and we see Supergiant Games.
Oh, that's crazy.
They are on. They announced the launch of Hades on Switch on the same event as us.
And I think 80 is one of your best games, right? One of your favorite games.
Yeah, anything from Supergiant Games. I think, I mean, I played Bastion before I even knew the concept of indie games. Limbo and Bastion were the games that I played way back in 2011 when it came out, yeah. But ये जो कहानी बता रहा था Epic Game वो वाली Dave Grant वाली, I have a really funny memory of that. So we at that point in time we were all completely burnt out. Like ऐसा 18-20 घंटे काम कर रहे थे, 4 घंटे की नींद मिल रही थी. तो हम लोगों को पता लग गया था कि डेव ग्रांट मिलने वाली है, कि पैसा आने वाला है अकाउंट में. तो मेरे पास एक वीडियो है, उसमें अविचल बैठा है पीसी पे, ही इज ट्राइंग टू लॉग इन टू द कंपनीज बैंक अकाउंट, और श्रुति खड़ी है पीछे, और ये इतना नींद में है ये पहले वो भूल गया, यूज़र आईडी भूल गया, यूज़र आईडी डाल रहा है, पीछे से श्रुति कहती है कि अरे यूज़र आईडी ये नहीं है, कैपिटल्स में डालो. उसके बाद डालता है, एक अटेम्प्ट खराब हो गया, पासवर्ड डाल रहा है, पासवर्ड भी 2 बार ही गलत, कहती है अरे पासवर्ड भी कैपिटल्स में है. एंड ही वाज लाइक 1 अटेम्प्ट अवे फ्रॉम गेटिंग द अकाउंट ब्लॉक्ड, कि अगर पैसे आए भी तब भी नहीं निकल पाएंगे. उसके बाद किसी तरह से लॉगिन किया है, अकाउंट में देख रहे 500 रुपए पड़े हैं, अभी तक नहीं है.
अरे ये वीडियो मेरे को चाहिए यार.
Oh yeah,
ये एडिट में डालना है अपने को.
we have a lot of. This was really that make it or break it moments like this happened multiple times, but the team was always in there. So everyone at Nodding Heads knew we have to keep going, and we knew we've already. So once you've just sacrificed so much of your sleep, so much of your family time, no vacation, living like with the mattress and PC, like at least that's what my home was for at least 2 years. And then you know that, like we've done so much. How do you stop here now?
Yeah.
We have to keep going. So we kept trying. And after when we were going through this whole turbulence, financial turbulence, I remember one day I had written personalized 35 emails. Okay, and I'm not talking 1 para, 2 para. These are proper emails explaining everything to publishers, Western publishers, why they should go with us. And that's the kind of effort I think all of us were ready to put in, and that is the reason we are still.
I've seen your success, bro, and I'm so proud of you all and what Raji has achieved with all the Doggos, everything that has happened. There was a time जब खाने को ला लेते bro, अभी अपना घर है, Mercedes है bro. Oh, boys, it's so good to see like you made it right end of the day.
Yeah, एक टाइम क्या, अभी ऐसा लगता नहीं है कि इतना टाइम हुआ है, बीच में a lot of things have happened globally also in our lives also. But for a good part of the development of Raji, हम लोगों ने अपना एक बजट बना रखा था, महीने का 20,000 है, जिसमें से 12,500 13,000 रेंट हो, एंड 6-7 हज़ार में महीने का गुजारा करना है. हम लोग ये करते थे, मतलब ये मन से करते थे, मतलब लगती थी, बट फिर भी पता है कि बिकॉज यू नो दैट यू आर अलाइंड विद दैट विजन, एंड दैट विजन आई टेल यू जो ये बता रहा था, मतलब इट्स नाउ इट फील्स लाइक अ सेंटेंस, बट it actually carried a lot of weight throughout all these years, and it still does, which was to put India on the game dev map. And that is one vision that kept us like going forward, ki why we are doing this. See, kabhi bhi jab doubt hota hai, when you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, you just remember why you're doing this. It just like of course it's not something new, people have been saying it, but once you actually go through it, you realize कि कितना weight है उस चीज़ में, कि जब करने के लिए हर कोई निकल पड़ता है, बट अगर तुम्हें पता है कि तुम्हें यही करना है, तो कुछ भी तुम्हारे सामने आता है ना, तुम फिर भी बढ़ते जाते हो, चाहे तुम रेंग के बढ़ रहे हो, बट यू कीप मूविंग अहेड, लाइक इंच बाय इंच, यू जस्ट कीप गोइंग अहेड.
For all the indie developers, please take inspiration and please reach out to these boys also whenever you are in the deepest shit, or locals hear this podcast, bro, you'll get inspiration, bro.
So one thing I will say has changed today in 2023 is, and I will say credits to Nodding Heads there is now a spotlight on India.
Yeah.
Raji won, so got 36 accolades, which includes 10 wins, includes a nomination at Game Awards
Wow.
for debut title, which is the biggest industry event. I don't know, 100 million plus people watch it in one night.
Yeah.
That is something which I don't think we even knew that's going to happen. It was a complete surprise for us also, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty much almost like, I think, 48 hours, because again, events keep everything confidential and
Oh.
they just let you know at last minute. So coming back today, indie developers do have at least publishers looking for the next Raji
Yeah.
or whatever, next successful project. PC console is actually going to thrive in the future, near future, because India Hero Project just stepped in. Xbox Developer Accelerator Program has been opened.
By Sony.
No, this is by Microsoft.
Okay.
India Hero Project is by Sony.
Okay.
And we also have, I think that the government is taking more steps slowly but steadily. Like they've just defined video games totally different from gambling games, which is a huge win.
I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, it's a huge win because clubbing everything together is just gonna ruin.
And I think it's a win for the entire video game development industry, because I remember when it got clubbed together, everybody just came together to like fight this.
Yeah, so I will give credit to Harish from Outlier Games. He has worked a lot behind the scenes and brought a lot of the indie developers and game developers from India together to get this thing done in conversation with the government. So good things are definitely happening. So it's the best time to enter the video game industry in India, because people are just looking for that next thing and the next thing. And now there is this sense of, oh, so someone's done Raji back in 17 to like 2020, so there must be more developers. And it's true, we have abundance of talent, and like I'm really proud of some of the indie studios which have survived through the same years.
Bro, I'm seeing Cypher Interactive, I've seen Sigma Games, Govardhan, Kashyap, these guys, Dala, they're doing a pretty good job. They're still surviving, they're doing their work, they're still striving, they're still working, but they've not given up, they're working and they're doing really well. Everyone is doing really well. It's just that these indies, they don't know how to go about, like you have pointers to give to them, like the...
Yeah. See, first big. So I'll just go by the challenges we spoke and how do you tackle those, because exactly the same challenges you will face today, but your chances of finding a solution have gone just a bit higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, Epic Games is officially in India. If you make a game on Unreal Engine, which is has a bigger grand scheme to it. So if you can make something worthwhile, quality, focus on quality, not that this game will sell 10 million copies. Don't put that. Focus on why this game is different from all these 10,000 games which release every year. If you're able to prove that through your prototype or through your game concept, and you go talk to Epic Games India, they will help you out. They have helped several developers with the mega grant, and they continuously support you, and they will connect you with more people who can help you out. And we've done that sort of thing for other developers also, connecting with them. So that's one option. India Hero Project, minimum they've said $100,000, which is just fantastic. Just apply for it. You have a project, they're gonna get you the dev kit, the PS5 dev kit. They have official presence, they've always had that. It's an important territory. India is an important territory for everyone. That's the same thing for Xbox Developer Accelerator Program. They are focused on indigenous developers, they're focused on marginalized developers, they're focused on developers from developing countries. So you apply for it. Basically, today, you have so many shots to fire. If you land one of them, you can survive a bit easier probably than what we did.
True.
Because in 2017, none of these three things were there.
Yeah.
Grant, it was there, but internationally, and honestly, I'm sure that time actually, it took way longer for them to process it. But now it's way faster.
And I feel there were no Indian benchmarks as such as well.
Exactly.
You know, there were no benchmark sets for people to look up to and be like, oh, मेरे को ऐसा करना है, ये बनाना है, ये quality है, क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं, क्या नहीं कर सकता हूँ.
So that was that's one of the I would say like the sub objective that was achieved. I mean, I won't give complete credit over here to Raji, but a lot of it is because of that. Yeah, no point being modest. But yeah, I mean, when we talked about putting India on the game dev map, this is what we meant, that if everybody outside in the global gaming industry, in the global market, should know that there can be quality games that can come out of India, and to invest here, to scout for talent over here, and that's something that we can see is happening now. I mean, in the conversations that we have with the industry veterans, with these big giants that have been there since forever, ever since the gaming industry dates back when.
True, I was recently talking to a studio head and he was telling me India doesn't have a scope to make their own games. They always need someone to be there, or no production and no, you know, the producer skills, and they don't know how to. I was like, bro, suck a duck. Like, fuck you, man. May have a side. Not exactly, bro. Like,
He lost the trailer.
Initially ये भी होता था यार कि I mean, take our example also. Just imagine how things would have gone if one of us or few of us would have wavered कि नहीं अभी नहीं हो पा रहा है भाई, खाना भी खाना है, कुछ भी करना है. And imagine how many people that might have come before us who would have gone down the same path. They might have a
Story that just clicked in my brain because of this, what you said. I was in Goa 2016, I think, with Bruno Idris and Lee from our college. And I saw these three guys. So Bruno and me were looking for some alcohol or whatever. Like, we were chilling near the beach, forgot which beach and all. Three guys, Indian guys. And we just started having a conversation. Somehow figured out, oh, what game industry? Like, they're from game industry. I'm like, oh, bro, I work at Zynga and all. Started talking. Somehow the topic came up, Indian video game and Indian video game industry. And they literally is what you just said. कि वो लोग frustrated हो चुके थे, वो give up भी कर चुके थे. They gone through it, gave up. उनके मुंह से सिर्फ नेगेटिविटी आ रही थी कि नहीं हो सकता.
India में खुश नहीं.
One thing I clearly remember, the guy said, nobody cares, bro. And I can understand. People care if you make something good, man. It's not like,
Bro, but end of the day,
make something and
end of the day, like you said, sorry, that it only happens when you have like-minded people and people that you know you want to work with.
yeah. So I was, and the whole Raji thing was already in conversation, but I can't say it because it's like saying it before doing it. No, I'm not that kind of person. So I was like, okay, you know what, we'll do it. In my mind, you guys bitch, cry, whatever, get drunk.
5 साल बाद मिलेंगे.
I don't know their names. I've forgotten all of that. I remember the conversation, and yeah, that's exactly like people try, which is commendable. But yes, you have to, you know, even now, tons of people are trying. Games are coming out every day. It is hyper competitive out there. You are not just competing with the games you're launching, competing with some series that's going on Netflix, something on Amazon Prime, some movie long, because it's entertainment industry. And
You're on Netflix as well now, right?
yeah, everyone's screaming for attention. So how do you make something that actually brings people like, no, I'm not gonna watch or do that my famous MMO or first person COD today,
Yeah.
but actually play our game.
It was crazy. We went to Singapore to watch RHCP and we met a couple of guys from the gaming scene and how inspired they were by Raji.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see, bro. It was so it was so refreshing. Yeah, bro, India's on the map as well.
Yeah, when I was at Gamescom Asia, whenever you meet these fans, like actual fans, I'm like, I have a freezing moment, like, how do I react? They're losing this shit.
I have a funny story to say, like, so Avichal's real name is Avichal Singh. I also have a really close friend from Pune, Avichal Singh. So Avichal's real Instagram page is called Ethri Tiger at that time. And everyone was working for Avichal Singh, and they ended up sending messages to the other Avichal that, bro, congratulations on the game, love the game. And he was overwhelmed. At the same time, he was not irritated. He's like, I just have to find the real Avichal Singh who I'm getting these messages from. So it was a day when I met Avichal, and Avichal was also there. And I'm like, Avichal Singh, meet Avichal Singh. And he's like, oh, you are the Avichal Singh I'm getting messages for and stuff. It was crazy.
I was like, it's fine. I hope you said good. Thank you to them. I don't know what can we do.
He was also surprised, like, मेरे को इतना messages क्यों आ रहा है? But he's like, I have to find this guy to send these guys to.
So people will show their love if you are making quality. Quality is all that you have to chase.
Yeah.
Everything else follows. If you go, there are probably people out there who are listening to it and like, no, first you have to think money-wise. Will it make money? Maybe that works. But personally, it's my observation, our observation, at least from Indian territory. If you cannot give something that's of quality, people are just not going to spend more than 5 seconds with you.
That's actually that's actually very true. Bro, like Naughty Dog का नाम Naughty Dog है. ऐसा nodding heads भी nodding doggos होना चाहिए था. There's so many doggos in the family. Actually, bro, like nodding doggos, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, till the time, so for a very long time, we were working from Shruti and Ian's apartment, the apartment they had rented out. So उस time पे हम लोगों का काफ़ी interaction था dogs के साथ. And when Shruti and Ian, they were trainers in the college where we all studied. उस time पे they had 3 dogs at that time, at least when I met them. There was Haley, there was Killer, and there was Zia, who is with me now. Long story. But yeah, from 3 dogs at the beginning of the development of Raji, it ended up being at 11, I think, जब Raji का development खत्म हुआ था. And yeah. And now it has gone even further. They have been very busy. They have been, I mean, in the Kharadi area, Pune ke Kharadi area mein, they feed all the dogs in the Kharadi area. It's not just about adopting the dogs. Even if a dog is there on the street, it's that dog's home. You don't even have to adopt the dog. You just have to make sure that the dog they're just well taken care of, like medically and food. That's all that they need. And yeah, when people go out of the way to harm them, that's just pure sadistic. We just can't understand how.
So commendable how Ian and Shruti have taken out time after everything and they take so much effort in doing this. I want to tell people, if you all want to adopt and you all are looking for a lovely doggo, please get in touch with us. We think you can find good family.
We have a thorough interview process for that.
Yeah, actually, it's tougher than getting a job. Honestly.
Yeah.
And we've gone through some problems by taking steps and giving doggos to someone, and we've realized, like, bro, pehle हमसे go through करने का, फिर we can give our babies.
Actually, when जब Raji का development चल रहा था, तो Raji का development was one thing. We've talked about it.
But parallelly, it was this as well. The things that were going on parallelly in our lives, in like the dogs that we were rescuing, we wanted to get them adopted. A few of, as you said, few of them didn't pan out. एक बंदा था जो मुंबई तक लेकर गया, वापस छोड़ गया, कहता कि मेरी बीवी नहीं मान रही है. Like, what the fuck, साले पहले सोचना था ना. But हाँ, मतलब it has been a very not just the development, every part of it has been a big challenge, and I think we have always stepped up for it, whether it was our professional life, the development that we are going through, or whatever was going on in our personal lives. We never let one like compromise the other.
Well, that's commendable, man. Like, taking care of your brainchild that just started, and you're going through the worst and the whatever you can think of, and then you have this to take care of. But I think I've realized this end of the day, whatever goes bad, when I go meet Captain, which is my dog, bro, my whole thing just switch off ho jata hai, and I'm like, fuck everything, bro. This is more important end of the day, bro.
Part of it was because of the dogs. They act as stress busters. We all know that, but they did help us a lot. I can't stress enough kitna. That part of our lives, it actually helped us to like keep going forward. And yeah,
I've seen Avichal also, like, he's gone through the toughest phase with Snowy,
Dogs had so many surgeries. She's been rescued. She has gone through so much in her life altogether. And there's still a battle to survive, right? Every day she's fighting, and she's so good right now. Bro, she's a fighter. Boyaka.
Especially towards you.
Yeah, well, like, it's funny how like Snowy and me bonded so well the first day. मेरे को उसने लिक्विक किया, पूरा सब करने दिया. अगले दिन ऐसा डसते वो मेरे को देखते ही उसका अलग ट्रिप हो जाता है. I think I've been rubbing her in a wrong place where the injury happened, I think.
That's actually true. And we did not know.
Because it wasn't visible. But I'm glad she's gone through, like she's better now. She went through a very heavy articulated surgery, which is really crazy. And shout out to the doctor who did it.
Dr. Feroz.
Dr. Feroz. And please, if you have any issues with doggos and related complications, please get in touch. We can tell you all what and where to go. Right? Man, shit, the journey has been so big. At end of the day, it looks so small. Like I can't imagine this, bro. We used to sit, drink, rada on our scenes. Like, Avichal, I remember hanging going
Still have this photo. The whole Amanora crowd dispersed. They left me in Paras with a tower of mattresses. Like, it went on and on. Is that
How was I?
Was you? I think you had already gone to back. Oh, she was dispersed. So, the crowd over, we aim for the survivors.
Remember, Amanora mein we had like 3 flats, separate flats. 9 people used to live in those 3 flats, and all those like 15, 20 cotton mattresses. I have a picture of that. एक पूरे single bed पे ऐसा रखा हुआ है. And we actually got them from that place to Kharadi because पता ही नहीं था यार क्या पता जरूरत पड़ जाए. पैसे तो दे नहीं.
Wow, wait. No, and to man who point is stay that out. Because coming back to this, what Sahil had asked, advice or something to indie developers or anyone who was watching this thinking, how do I start? I don't have a 38 DTI. I don't have that. We bought 33,000 rupees kit, 10 PCs, third hand, second hand, I don't know how many hands, from Green Eye Teams. Yeah, from someone who was shutting down. Okay, the worst thing, second hand. Second, हमारे घर में like literally PC, mattress, कुछ नहीं है, literally कुछ नहीं है, और खाना खाते थे राजस्थानी थाली 60 रुपए की. And सबको पता है Mercedes, all this success, good. First car is a Matiz.
15,000.
What do you mean? No, 5th hand, 6th hand. क्या पता कितने hand?
Bro, उसमें घर पे जाएंगे लोग.
वो कार जब मिली थी ना मैं, उसका बोनेट खुला था, अंदर पेड़ निकल रहा था.
Legit going.
फोटो है उसका.
Wow.
Boink. ढूंढना पड़ेगा, but उस कार पे हमने उस कार को 2 साल घिसा है. वो सब चलाते थे. ये मत कि ईएन किसी फैंसी कार में, ईएन भी मटीज से था, हम भी मटीज से, सब हम लोग सब मटीज में.
मैंने तो ये सुनना है वो मटीज किधर छोड़ के आए.
हाँ, तो मटीज के अनफॉर्चुनेटली स्टोरी खत्म हुआ. जो हमें पता था कि एक दिन ये बंद हो जाएगी कहीं पे, तो और वो लिटरली पीटर्स या आप लोग सब थे, वो सड़क पे बंद हो गई. एंड हम तराड़ी हुई और उसको छोड़ा है.
एक वीडियो भी है जब मटीज खराब हुई थी, उसमें उस टाइम पे हम 3 लोग थे और 2 डॉग्स थे. वहाँ पे घर से मतलब घर से निकलते ही कुछ दूर चलते ही 500 मीटर पे हो गई खराब. एंड वहाँ से हम लोगों ने ऑटो किया. ऑटो में तो सोच 3 लोग और 2 डॉग्स. हम लोग जा रहे हैं उधर ऑफिस जा रहे हैं, भाई काम करने तो जाना ही था. बट उसके बाद हम लोगों की हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई कि वापस जाके कुछ देखे भी उसका. उस टाइम पे हमने सोचा नहीं था कि छोड़ देंगे ऐसे ही.
एक्चुअली हमें देखना चाहिए था उस समय
बैटरी नहीं ईएन को सबसे ज़्यादा था कि इसने अभी नई बैटरी डलवाई है. एटलीस्ट
बैटरी का कॉस्ट या कि गाड़ी से ज़्यादा है. वो बैटरी नई 5-6 हज़ार की तो थी, और वो 15,000 की गाड़ी 2 साल अगर चलाई है तो वो 5,000.
ब्रो बट उसने पूरा अपना निभाया है. ब्रो सब निभाया. उसका नाम रखा था कि कुछ बोलू हुए, मतलब ऐसा कुछ नाम.
बस 1-1.5 साल बाद वो तो मटीज लोग देखिए कराड़ी के पुलिस स्टेशन के बाहर में.
ब्रो यार सेंसर कर देंगे और लोग ढूंढ रहे होंगे किसकी गाड़ी अभी तक पड़ी है. बट सही है ब्रो, अभी तक किसी को ऑप्शन हो गई होगी या तो वहाँ भेज दिया रहेगा.
भाई 2000 की गाड़ी थी वो, मतलब 2000 साल की गाड़ी थी.
आई थिंक रामासस ने भी चलाई है वो.
और वो 16 साल. हाँ, और वो खरीदी भी इसलिए थी बिकॉज डॉग्स को लेके जाना था. जाना होता था. तो there was this time when Shruti and I think वो उस टाइम पे पांच डॉग्स पे आ गए थे. उस टाइम पे 3 से 5 हो गए थे. And 2 of the dogs, they didn't get along together. So Ruhi, my wife, and I, we decided to like transitional था, but eventually we adopted two of the dogs. But मुझे काम करने जाना होता था, रूही को भी काम करने जाना होता था, तो डॉग्स को घर पे नहीं छोड़ सकते थे. तो ये था कि स्टूडियो तो लेके जाना है. अब स्टूडियो में 15-20 दिन लेकर गया, रोज़ ऑटो वाले को बुलाओ, पता नहीं ऑटो वाला मानेगा भी कि नहीं मानेगा. इवेंचुअली वी डिसाइडेड टू गेट दिस कार. 15,000 की कम से कम डॉग्स को ले मेरे घर से श्रुति इनके घर तक लेके जाने के लिए कोई मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट तो होगा.
Damn, bro, that's crazy, bhai. Like, we've come a long bloody way. Like, sitting and just recollecting all this shit. Fuck. बसों में ऐसा कटल खाते हुए, नैनीताल जाके ताल में उल्टी करते हुए. सके ना.
अरे ये सब ब्रश फास्ट वर्क कर सरी से.
Paras Chaudhary was called Charas Maudhary then. But yeah, there was a time, bro, ऐसा पैसे वैसे कुछ नहीं होती. अपने ट्रिप मारा कि ब्रो कैसा करते 3-3 हज़ार रुपये लेके जाते हैं. पारस और मैंने ऐसा कश्मीरी गेट पे पारस लाया पिज़्ज़ा हट का पिज़्ज़ा. ऐसा मैं दादा के साथ रहता था, मतलब दादा के चाचा चाची के साथ. मैं आया, चाची ने कटहल पैक करके दी, रोटी और कटहल. मैंने कहा ब्रो बस में जा रहे हैं, मैं कटहल लेके आया, मेरे को नहीं खाना. पास ने कहा कटहल मेरे को दे. पिज़्ज़ा तू खा ब्रो. फन वाइब.
कटल मेरा भी फेवरेट.
And that was a very crazy trip because rest in peace, our brother. I think that was the last time, at least me and Paras
Yeah,
met him when we went on a trip. Piyush.
unfortunately.
And we had good times though, bro. Like it was a mad trip. Samonda, Saket, Tui, I think Cindy was there. Bro, my brother Siddhant, like he was there and he was very young then, bro.
सीधे मौत बहुत सीधा था. तो
बड़ा सुपड़ी में कर रहा था, मेरे को लगता है कुछ कर रहा था.
उसने वो भाई से डरता था. कैटल करता था वो हम लोगों के पास.
वो किसी से नहीं डरता है, bro.
तो ही जाता था.
But good times, I think. After that trip, the only trip we did was Singapore, which is also mental, by the way, bro. We all watched RNCP together. That was the craziest shit.
Childhood dream, yeah, or teenager dream.
Yeah, bro. Checklist se gaya, bro.
This whole circle back again. I'm just coming back to the video games topic with the आज जितने options है ना, people have to try all of them. Because I talked to a lot of devs. So I am in touch with the Indian video game. I just did the Steam Game Festival thing in 2021. We have a group. It's all the Indian game developers. And the quality has increased. So whoever gamers are watching or listening, you have to try these games and share your feedback, talk to the devs, because all these things really help. And we are very grateful keep the gaming community accepted us.
True. And I think IGDC November, I'm going, you're going. Yes. We are gonna be there, IGDC. You'll see me, you'll see them, and it's gonna be a vibe. We're gonna end up partying in some place, and y'all should be there. Right? And bro, lovely having y'all on the 3rd episode of Baba Ki Balcony. I'll be seeing you more often on the podcast, and I'll be seeing Paras, you, like, more very frequently here, bro.
मिनट दूर रहता है भाई, कभी बोलते हैं.
I want to give a shout out to Moonshine. Thank you for sponsoring us for this amazing meads. And please share, subscribe. I'll put these boys' links at the bottom. Thank you. Have a good day. Peace.
A conqueror had come. Raji was the only one with the power to stop him. But it was her only way to reach Golu.
सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते. सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
शायद राजी मरने वाली थी. शायद वो हार गई थी. As Raji drifted, a vision came to her. Who was that with her brother? What did they want?
Thank you.